Welcome. So, what's it like for you right now? Just check in with yourself and notice, how are you right now? And can you welcome it? Whatever you notice, whatever you find out. So, this is day 5 of our free to feel journey through the world of emotions. So, by now, you already know that your feelings are pointing to your needs being met or unmet. And you also know that it is not something in the external world that is responsible for you feeling whatever you're feeling, but rather the meaning that you assign to whatever happened. And you know that this meaning is negotiable. So you can look at it, you can investigate it, you can check it with the external world, and also you can check it with yourself. Is that true? However, there are moments when things happen so quickly that um, all of a sudden we go from or move from 0 to not even 100, like 1000 of intensity. When we kind of lose touch with reality, when we overreact, we may be even aware of that, like what's happening to me, and at the same time the emotions are really, really intense. So why is that so, and how to deal with these situations? Today's video will be an introduction that will hopefully allow you to understand, to have a peek at those situations. So I will share with you a little bit about neurobiology. There is this neurobiologist by the name of Daniel Siegel, who invented this illustration of a brain, like a brain in the palm of a hand. And when you imagine that this is your brain, just for a moment, here would be the brain stem, which is this part at the back. It's a very old part that is responsible for us breathing and like all the very, very basic physical functions. And here would be amygdala, which is this part of our brain that is actually regulating our, I would say, instinctive emotional responses, like these emotional responses that come before our thinking. And now you may be thinking, so what about this meaning making then? So just wait. And here is the neocortex. So this is this, you know, the structure that's being wrapped around that we know the brain for, like this walnut type of structure. And this walnut type of structure, this is where everything that we learned, um, all our logical processes, our rational thinking, and a lot of what makes us a modern human is being stored. And in a regular situation, in a day-to-day life, these structures cooperate with each other. You know, they feed each other back, they um, work together so that we could respond to our reality, to external context in the most, well, in a way, reasonable or sensible, maybe sensible way, right? Adequate. However, this guy here, the amygdala, stores information about all the events that were too much to handle in our life. So, in a way, it's like our bodyguard. takes these memories of all the overwhelming situations. I mean, you might have been 3 or 4 years old and something really scary happened. You wouldn't be scared of it right now, but you, as a 4 year old, we were very scared, right? So this memory is being stored in here. And this part of a brain is not very particular. It's not very sharp. So when we go around, it actually looks out for clues that would be similar to what you experienced before. And these clues are sometimes kind of funny, right? So perhaps you had a memory of an intense threat when you were 3 years old that involved a person wearing a red coat. And now, when your brain registers red coat, your body sends an alarm signal, and you may not even be aware of that. And when the signal is strong enough, then from being alert, our system can go to an intense flight, fright, freeze response, right? Flight when we get mobilized to run, fright when we get mobilized to fight, and freeze when, despite being mobilized, we see no option to remove ourselves from the situation or to fight back. So we go into a freeze mode. However, all our intense stress hormones are still in our body, right? So it's like pushing the gas pedal in your car to the bottom and the brake to the bottom as well. Like the engine is like in high motion and like high intensity, but everything is stopped. So that's the freeze, right? And when this happens, what amygdala does, it actually kind of pulls a brake, like on the train, you know, and it partially or completely cuts the links between itself and where the reaction is and our neocortex, right? So Sarah Payton talks about that our lid has flipped. So these are these situations when there is an intense trigger that is interpreted as threat and our neocortex is gone because we need to act in an instance. We can't analyze, we can't think through the situation. Or so our brain thinks. And these are the situations when you act and react, and later you may not even remember that, what you did or said, or you may have a sense that you're like this witness standing next to yourself doing something, and you're like, what's happening there? What am I doing, you know? And later on, you may also feel ashamed or guilty. Like if you've practiced NVC for a while, you may be like, I know so much. I read so many books. I practice so much. And yet, again and again, I keep doing these things. What's wrong with me? Well, nothing's wrong with you. This is an evolutionary mechanism that is designed to make us safe. Except that challenges in the today's world are not so often related to a tiger attacking you, but are rather social, related to social interactions, which are often not threatening, in fact. But our system reacts as if they were. So, what can we do? Well, the first thing is to realize and receive this with kindness, with understanding. Sarah Payton speaks about resonant responses. So when our lid flips, it's important to have someone around us, or maybe someone at the reach of your cell phone, who can receive you in a way that's resonant, that's attuned. You know, who can really tune in to you and support you, support your calming, your nervous system to calm down, to come back to being regulated. This is how empathy is so, so very important. You know, not so much explaining away or giving advice, but being in empathic, resonant connection until the system of the person who got stirred up and triggered relaxes enough so that the left hemisphere gets online again. The left hemisphere is responsible for us understanding words, for our logical, linear thinking. So when we're triggered like that, we're not logical. So it's very difficult to reason with us. You can also think about other people in your life and how they act when they are like triggered, aroused like that. If you try to reason with them, it may make things even worse. So, in order for you to support yourself in dealing with emotions, you need to be present enough to um, to hold yourself, to even to reach out, to ask for help, to do anything, you know, to use any of the tools, and I will be sharing many with you, that will bring you back home to your body, to yourself, to your sense of safety. And the first step to do that is to notice whatever is happening with you. And this is where this question that I keep asking you, what's alive for you right now, becomes really, really handy.